to Make That Paper, the show where we talk about all the crazy jobs we do to make the cash we need to pursue our artistic dreams.
And to buy a new house every time you drop your keys in the snow.
Oh my God, I love that joke so much. Today, we're talking about the old warming up the crowd gig or that roll the camera craft. And don't forget the day trading dabble. We are your hosts, Jaime Parker Stickle
and Jason Bieber.
And today we're talking to the man TBS called one of the top 101 best comedians working today.
And we have to agree.
So agree.
He set the Guinness World Record for most jokes told in a minute, most of them funny. And you can catch him doing stand-up all over the country, including at the Comedy Store and Laugh Factory right here in Los Angeles.
Yeah, you've seen him on hit shows like The New Girl, Monk, Prison Break, not to mention a fairly amazing Doritos commercial. Link in the show notes.
Please welcome to the podcast, the incredibly funny, it's Daren Capozzi.
Hey, thank you. That intro was great. Who was it about?
We're actually, our guest for today canceled. Thanks for jumping in at the last second.
No problem.
I do want to say Darren is so funny. When we did stand up, we would always want to get the spot after Darren because
speak for yourself.
Because he had because he had the crowd in such a good place all the time. They were laughing so hard they didn't even hear you. They just laughed because you were like they were still laughing at Darren. It was so great. It was so great. He's so funny.
Yeah, no, he's like, honestly, if you guys have not been to a Daren Capozzi show, you got to get. I mean, we'll get you tickets. Wow. I know a guy.
You're stuttering.
Yeah.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to wake up to this intro every morning, by the way.
I hope you do.
That's how I'm going to get out of bed. My girlfriend's going to be like, what is this? I'm like, not yet.
This is my ringtone.
This is my ringtone. Yeah. I'm going to be like, Alexa, wake me up.
That'd be hilarious.
And Alexa go, good morning, Darren. Welcome to Make That Paper.
Well, I did one time, so I'm sure we haven't. I don't know why we haven't done this yet, but when I was starting to do, can I talk about the day trading?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, let's talk about day trading.
All about your side hustles, but day trading.
I was like, okay, because the stock market opens up at 6:30, so I was like, all right, you know what I'm gonna do? I set the alarm to "Patience" by Guns N' Roses.
Nice.
So like, to have patience in the morning. Have patience in the morning. We haven't changed it since, and we hate that song. So,
wow.
But every morning now we're waking up to patience, regardless of anything.
Wait, but you say the stock market opens at 6:30. Is that East Coast, or are you saying 6:30 West?
Our time.
Our time. It is 6:30 our time.
No.
For some reason, I thought it was 5 our time and 8 East Coast.
Wall Street guys are fucking lazy. They like to roll in, have their coffee, have a little kibitz in the morning, and then at 9:30 a.m., ring a bell,
God,
and get to it.
We're just getting home from doing blow. So
you don't even go home. What are you talking about? You change your shirt on the way. You stop at Marshall's. It's all on the subway. You're fine.
You wake up, you listen to Patience, you do your blow.
You're good.
We stop at Marshall's and get your regular shirt up for discount.
Exactly. Pick up one of those skinny ties that comes too short. You're fine.
Pick up maybe a set of 3-pound weights because today's the day.
That's fine.
On the way on the checkout, they always have everything like that. That's really funny.
The truth is, I didn't just come up with that. I dated a guy that used to do that. He'd go into the city, stay all night, pop into the Marshalls. I forgot what street it was on, maybe 5th. Buy a shirt, get a tie. It would be too short, and then he'd go into the finance office. That's what he did. Amazing.
What city was this?
New York. It was JJ.
Oh, JJ. So, guys, I honestly, this is you've done a 513 podcast.
Oh, no, we have a great way of inflating things.
Yeah, we've done season 5, 13. We've done 76 episodes. 72.
We're in our 50s. We've done like 50 something, high 50s.
I thought it was 72. No. Oh, maybe I'm thinking of
our ages.
Yeah, that's what's combined. But that's good. No, I'm glad that after 56 people, you're like, let's hit Capozzi up. So that's fantastic.
Well, I negged you a whole bunch of times. Jamie's really been pushing for you since the early episodes.
Since season 2.
Season 6 is all about our big reaches. Season 6 is the season where, like, you know what? I think we're finally at the level that we can reach out to some heavy hitters. Let's see if we can get Daren Capozzi on the show.
Yeah, it's true. Speaking of day trading though, and comedy.
Yes.
Honestly, Darren is one of the funniest comics you'll ever see. And when the first time you were doing stand-up on television live, I was like, Daren Capozzi's doing stand-up on TV. Like, he's made it.
She also likes to announce it when streetlights change color.
You are taking the power away from everything. I'll never forget. Okay, so Darren, one of his side hustles, and I don't know if you're still doing it, but he works in a casting director's office, commercial casting. And I'd had a baby. I had not been on stage. I had been on maternity leave, and I got a commercial audition, and I didn't know Darren was going to be there. And I walk in with no hair, and I'm notorious for having long hair. And I show up with no hair. I had a pixie, and he was like, "Oh no, what'd you do?" Like, they called in long-haired girls, and I was like, "Talk to my agent. It's not my problem." It was so funny.
That's funny.
You still recognized me, so it was fine.
So
I don't recognize anyone now with masks, so.
That's right. Yeah.
But talk to us about casting. How'd you get into casting?
Well, I was looking for a side hustle.
Yeah.
And Liz Paulson, who owns Mel and Liz Casting. I don't know if you're familiar with them.
Sure.
She was a good friend of mine, and she's like, "Listen, why don't you train in my my company, just to get, because you have to do a lot of training before, and then I was like, she's like, you can go out and you can be casting directors, and I'm like, no, hey, you're a camera guy, you've done this." So I trained, and no one called me. And then a friend of mine, you remember Francine Selkirk Casting? She's now retired.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
She retired. A friend of mine worked for her, and I was literally sitting around, and she called me, and she said, "Darren, because when you're a camera guy, sometimes you get auditions, and then you got to get someone to cover your shift. But usually the casting directors are pretty cool with you coming and going. But this particular guy got stuck in traffic. I think his audition was on the west side, and Francine was in the valley. And they're like, our session started. We have like 30 people here. How quickly can you get here?" And I was like, "I can be there in like 7 minutes." I wasn't doing anything. So literally went over there, and that was it.
Save the day.
I saved the day. And the next thing you know, I started working for Francine. And then I started, people get your name, and then these people call you. So yeah, now I work at 200 South. I worked for most casting directors in town, actually, which is so good for my soul. So that's what's so good about that.
Yeah, no, clearly, nothing like watching everyone else go out for the parts that you want.
Yeah. There's nothing better than that.
Do you ever put yourself on camera and slip it in, or would you?
Yeah. It depends on the kind of, yes and no. Sometimes the casting directors are really cool. They're like, "Yeah, I don't care." And sometimes they're like, "Nope, you're a camera guy."
Darren, this specifically says 30-year-old African-American woman.
But I'm like, but I recognize myself as that. So, I
wild card.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many commercial auditions when I first moved out here I would go on, and it was such a diverse crowd. I'd be the only white, blonde, 20-something girl, and the guy I'd go right after would be like a 50-year-old African-American man. And we'd talk, and he was literally going for the same part I was. It was mostly like, they didn't care. They didn't know what they were looking for.
Yeah.
So they threw, what do they say?
The United Colors of Benetton.
They just threw anything at the wall, and whoever delivered, that's what they wanted.
It's funny. I've seen in callbacks, what they do is they put all the photos out of who they want, like first choice, second choice. And I've seen so many people, like huge campaigns, someone walk up to the photo, like, they already picked all their picks, and there's a lot of cooks in the kitchen when it comes to like, the advertising agency, director, client, it's a lot of people, but people don't understand commercials. They're like, you have no idea how many cooks are in the kitchen. And this woman walks up and was like, "You know what? I don't really like his ears."
Wow.
And took the picture away. And I go, "That is how you lose 6 figures."
Wow.
Yeah. It was like
holy shit.
It was a huge campaign. I remember being like, that person was so close. It was a kid too, probably a teenager, could have helped him in college. You know what I mean? Like,
yep.
Just like that.
They took his whole life away.
That is so
just because he didn't get that ear job.
Because he didn't get the ear job. So I called the kid and I said, "Dude, you better chop off your ears because no one likes your ears.
Tape them back. Just use tape."
Something.
Tape them fucking back. I think there's a thing where you actually can have your ears tapered back.
We're gonna.
I'm serious. Listen, I'm a girl. I know they tell you how to fix yourself all the time.
Are you a girl or are you a Doberman?
Fix yourself.
That's such an 80s reference. What are we, Magnum PI? Doberman, says someone not in 25 years.
I married him because when I met him, he delivered nothing but dad jokes. And I was like, are you a dad? Are you divorced with kids? And he was like, no. And I was like, sold.
Yeah.
Sold.
Yeah.
Well, no kids.
I'm there with my girlfriend. I do dad jokes all the time. I'm like, I can't wait till we have a kid. I'm like, these kids are going to love these.
This is going to be gold.
And then you find out only she loves them. The kids are like, you're stupid.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
Just, how old is your child now? 22?
Yes.
22 tomorrow. Big day for us.
He is going on 40. I'm not going to lie. He says things and you're like, wow, I've aged you.
I want to circle back to working in the room.
Yeah.
Because I remember, I'm going to go way back to, my early years of auditioning. And, I remember the first couple of times going into commercial auditions and there was somebody in there working the camera, giving me direction, telling me what to do. And I could see a young Jason going in and having, a young Darren telling me, all right, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And I'm going to go, great. Well, Francine, it was really nice to meet you. And not understanding that the person in the room is the messenger.
Yeah.
And is not the decision maker.
But for as long as you've been in it and how pro you are, have you moved up? Do they consult you about like callbacks and things like that?
Good question. Sometimes the director and ad agency, they'll ask me my opinion, and sometimes you're a ghost in the room.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care. And I always tell, this is the thing about commercial auditions. It's like, I was like, just go in, do your best, and then go home and help someone else. Because if you're in your head, it's out of your control. You know what I mean? It's like, go in, do your best, and go help someone less fortunate. Call a friend that needs help, because otherwise you're going to be in your head. Well, I did it this way. Everyone always gets in their car and looks in the mirror like, I should have said it that way. You know what I mean? It's like, at the end of the day, it's all about a look, really.
It is. And I got to tell you, in the last year, as things have as we, for the first time ever, we're doing these things at home, which I'm guessing has kind of put you out of work a bit. But, doing these auditions at home and actually seeing what my first and second and third takes look like, I'm like, Jesus. Well, first of all, I'm like, oh, I'm fucking terrible. But second of all, I don't like, how do you feel? What is it like to be kind of, do you feel responsible for getting an actor there, helping them like?
Yes. I feel responsible. Yeah, because it comes down to me. So I'm representing the casting director, and whoever the casting director puts on the link ultimately goes to the client. And then the client's like, who are these people? Like, they're terrible. That'll come down on me if I don't,
Got it.
especially if you're doing non-union. I become an acting teacher, really. When I do non-union, it's a lot of which I actually enjoy. It's kind of fun because everyone has to start somewhere, right? We all started somewhere. So I don't really, people always kind of poo-poo on non-union. I'm like, well, we all started somewhere, and it's kind of, it's enjoyable to me because I get to teach a little bit. It makes the day easier as opposed to like the same. It's a lot of mundane stuff too. It's like over and over and over again the same stuff. So.
I'm not doing it now. I had to stop 6 months into COVID for multiple reasons, but I was doing casting for radio for a couple of years, and
Wow.
And it was great, but it is tedious because actors, and this is, whatever, actors, I didn't meet anybody in person because we're only working with voices. So I would interview people and then run things on the phone with them, like bits, radio bits and stuff. And mostly boring, but also really stupid sometimes. Because people are so in their head when they're talking to anybody that is about to or could possibly give them a job. They don't hear what you're saying. Your brain isn't processing anymore. Yep. Mm-hmm. And you're just like, no, honey, what I said was A and you're telling me Z. I just want to know A. And it's just like, oh my God, I'm trying to think of something like what? Oh, like one time I asked them for the best email to contact them at, and one of them was Big Blue Balls, Joe at Big Blue Balls, and I was like, that's not going to work. Do you have a more professional?
That's really funny. Yeah, they don't listen. They do come in and they're like, I'll explain it, and they don't listen. They just sit there. They don't listen.
Excuse us for a minute. Our sponsors have something they'd like to say to you. You know what I bet our listeners are thinking right now?
What's that, Bieber?
They're probably thinking, this podcast thing is so easy. I could start my own podcast. And you know what? They're right.
Yeah, we've been using Anchor for a few months now, and it has totally changed our game. Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain.
It's free!
I said, let me explain.
Fine.
There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. And Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and pretty much anywhere podcasts are streamed. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. I mean, it's everything you need to make a podcast, all in one place.
And it's free!
Yes. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
That's enough of them. Now back to us.
Let me ask you, do you have, and I don't want you to like violate somebody's privacy or put someone on blast or anything, but do you have
a Big Blue Ball story?
Yeah.
What happens is what I say to little kids, the little kids come in the room. I always ask like the guys who are like 3 to 5, like if there's like 4 of them in a room, I always go, hey, do you have a girlfriend? I always ask them that. And, some of them get really thrown off or they're like, no, I'm 4 or like I'm 5. Right. And the kid's like, do you got a girlfriend? He's like, no. And I know I broke up with her and I don't want to talk about it or something like that. No, it's like, yeah, we just broke up and I don't want to talk about it. 5 years old.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Our kid is 6 and he talks about all the boys get together and they talk about their crushes at school. And then one day he came home to Jason and he's like, are you kidding, Dad? This girl is so hot. You're 6. You don't know what hot is. Shut up. Shut up.
That's really cool though.
Hey, he likes what he likes. I can't steer it.
I mean, you can't stop him, right?
Yeah.
I have to tell you, most people that are doing casting or working the camera are actors themselves.
Yeah. We're all actors. We're all actors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think.
Go ahead. No, continue.
Well, I was just gonna say, I think it's a great gig because you know what they're picking then. So when you do audition, you know exactly how to sort of nail it. So it puts you in a perfect position to also teach commercial auditions. Is that, you haven't done that yet though, have you?
I haven't done that. No, I honestly, this would be my class. Go in, like I said, do your best and go help someone.
That class is not going to do very well.
It's not going to do very well, but there's nothing to do, like in commercials, that is. And I mean, I'm not talking about theatrical. Theatrical, I think, is a little different.
Yeah.
In commercials, you could be the best person there and it doesn't always work out that way.
Right.
The ones that I like sometimes don't even get callbacks. Yeah. But the good thing is, like, we are the first line of defense. So, like, if you're mean to a camera person, we can hide your audition.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. With a click of a button, you can be like.
Have you done it? Have you just deleted somebody?
I feel really bad when I do it, but if they're real assholes, yeah, I've done it. Yeah.
Well, you know what?
Well,
you don't feel. Yeah, the client doesn't want to deal with an asshole. So.
No, yeah, they don't want them on set for 12 hours, so I'm doing them a favor. But I feel bad because I'm an actor. I'm like, you know how hard it is to get an audition, but sometimes I'm like, I can't. You can't. You're such a dick.
Right.
You're
part of the casting system, so they have to get through you, just like they have to get through an executive assistant before they get to the executive. You know, like.
But a lot of commercial actors don't realize we're the first line of defense, and they come in with attitudes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I can't. I honestly, I can't imagine it because I come in with, like, if anything, over niceness and humility.
Yeah, humbleness.
I had one time I was working for Francine Selkirk. Here's a good story, and thank God there was 2 actors in the room. And I said, I said, hey man, tell me your name, how you doing? And he goes, did you just tell me to hurry up? I go, no, I didn't tell you to hurry up. Yeah, I just fucking heard you tell me to hurry up. And now in my head I go, wait, I'm waiting for the bit. Like I thought he was doing a bit.
Yeah.
I was like, no, no. And the guy next to him goes, no, he just said, tell me your name. He goes, no, I know what I heard. And then I go, hey, bro, we don't need you. Like, there's thousands of actors out there, dude. You're not that important. He goes, oh, I'm not that important. And he fucking marched out. And I was like, okay, good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was so pissed.
Yeah.
I was like, fine, dude, fuck you.
Obviously, this guy had something going on.
Well, no, I think
I think he was like, I think he was a big time, thought he was a big time actor. And I think he was above commercials. And I think his ego, when he came in, was already top of the top, like, I'm better than this. So
Yeah.
Are you better than all the celebrities who are taking over all the commercials?
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Like what? The last commercial audition I had was right after I had been not boosted, but had my 2 shots, and they went back in person for like a month, and it was at 200 South La Brea. And do you remember?
Mm-hmm.
And I might have been a dick. I might have gotten deleted because I went in and the guy was like, it was for an astronaut, and he's like, walk like an astronaut. And I was like, I'm sorry. And he goes, walk like an astronaut, and you're waving to the crowd. And I was like, okay. So I did what I thought was walking like an astronaut.
Like an astronaut who's in space now?
And remember, I told you this in the car. I told you in the car, and he goes, do it again, but with less weight in your boots, like your anti-gravity. And I was like, I'm too old for this, but I was like, okay. And so I did it again. And he's like, you look like you're playing. And I was like, I'm walking like an astronaut. He goes, but you can't be that light because you have gear on. And I was like my astronaut suit. Like you're in your astronaut suit. So I was like, okay. And he goes, and pretend you're holding a helmet. And I was like, okay. So I did it again. And he goes, just like that, but smile bigger this time. And I was like, is he gonna go jerk off to my audition later? Like, I was seriously like, this is fucked. And on the 7th time, I go, I don't think I'm the right person. Like, I don't understand apparently what astronauts walk like. So let's do it one more time. And then I'm going to go. And he was like, yeah, okay. I mean, I think I was the dick that was like, but I was nice about it. But I was like,
yeah, I don't think you get erased for that. Yeah. You have to be really a dick.
But I was like, you're not being clear.
There's only how many people walked on the moon? Those are the only people that know what it's like to be an astronaut. So like, what?
What? What are you talking about?
Right.
Bruh?
I'm sorry. What?
I mean, it was really, and I was like, you're the exception. You're not an actor. Like, you're just not. Like, you can't be. No actor would be like, walk like you're walking with no.
Yeah, if I was running that session, I'd be like, listen, I know this is ridiculous, but just try to mime what you see Neil Armstrong doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If that's even what he's saying. I mean,
no, he wanted me to walk across the stage in a spacesuit
on Earth
to a podium and wave to the paparazzi. And I was like, but smile like I'm about to go to the moon. And I was like, okay.
Am I wearing a diaper?
Am I driving to Florida with a hammer next to me?
I need my backstory. What are we doing?
I felt so bad. I felt bad for the guy, and I was like, I wish you luck. Like, I knew I wasn't going to get that. Like, I don't know. It's just, what it was clear to me that there was a picture in mind that the client had passed on to this person, and then tried to tell the camera guy, like, get somebody who, and I was just like, am I not, I just don't think I'm the part.
And again, at the end of the day, it didn't matter because your ears your ears weren't right.
Yeah.
My ears weren't right.
Yeah.
Yeah. They pulled your photo. They're like, these ears are terrible.
But I'm not going to lie. At one point, I did think like, you're going to go home with all these auditions of just watching women walk across the camera 6, 7, 8 times. Like, what's wrong with you?
I have to tell you, I'm thinking about this. This conversation has actually created in my mind a business idea opportunity for me.
For Darren.
For Darren. Darren, I think you could be a part of this. I think you could help walk this in. Maybe bring Francine out of retirement. She might want to jump on board. So much could be saved. So much time, energy, effort, and hurt feelings too. If we just, instead of using headshots, if we do like 3D headshots where you could look at an actor in 3D, put different outfits on them in a virtual world and go, okay, different hairstyles, everything that's plausible before you ever have to deal with a real person.
Yeah.
That's coming. And, I don't know if you're making a joke, but that's not far-fetched, dude. That's coming soon.
I believe it.
I think so. I think they're going to, I think they're going to do away. I think they're going to do away with in-person auditions because I know right now commercial callbacks are mostly Zoom.
Yeah.
And as you know, theatrical is all send a tape in.
Are you working Zoom auditions then? So you're still working, but you're working from Zoom?
I've been doing a lot of, this week I did three days of in-person.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we've been back to in-person, yeah.
Okay.
But their COVID protocol over there, as if it's 2020, still COVID.
Oh, they did ask me, and this could be it too. They said, are you willing to work on set following COVID protocols if people aren't vaccinated? And I was like, well,
how much does it pay?
Yeah. I had a couple questions about it. And she goes, I'm not allowed to answer that. I'm not allowed to answer that. And I said, well, then how can I answer that question if I don't know, if you can't tell me these things? Oh, I said, are they going to be tested, up to the shooting date? And she goes, I'm not allowed to say that. And I was like, well, then I don't know. Cause this was, they were still
figuring it out.
Yeah. 2021, like May 2021. So I was like, it is weird. So what are the protocols? Like, are you feeling safe?
Oh yeah. Listen, I got all the shots. I actually caught Omicron.
Great.
I feel fine. I have a mask on.
Great. Yeah.
You got your plexiglass.
This is going on 3 years. I don't care anymore.
It's 100%.
And most people, actors that come in the room, they don't care anymore. Because I normally say, hey, do you mind if I pull this down to talk? Because it's so annoying to talk, to give explanations. And they're like, I don't care, man, take it off. So I'm like,
Yeah,
I think a lot of people are tired.
I think
as we all are, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I agree. So how is acting for you? Do you get caught up in your side hustle? Because or do they still let you go on auditions?
And by the way, I love that you listed the occasional acting job as one of your side hustles.
It does
feel that way.
It does feel that way.
It feels that way. It's one of the occasional acting jobs. Mm-hmm. They let me go to, I haven't gotten a lot of commercial auditions.
Yeah.
I don't,
ever or lately?
Lately, I haven't gotten a lot of commercial auditions. So a lot of my auditions are on camera, I at home, self-tape.
Theatrical stuff.
Yeah, theatrical stuff. Or I just do one take and I'm done.
Yeah. I don't know any theatrical that has gone back in person. Everything you've done you get weekly auditions and it's all tape. I get no auditions. It's fine. I'm okay with it.
Isn't that fun?
It's so fun. I'm just like, what? I'm selling a book, so it doesn't matter. Fuck you all. Just kidding. But okay. So where is comedy right now? Because
where's comedy right now?
Yeah, but I know
comedy's full blown. It's out there.
It is, right? Because Jody's doing shows.
Jody's doing shows. I was at a show last night that was outdoors. A lot of outdoor shows, but it's back. It is, packed house last night.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, we still live in a bubble over here.
Yeah.
We haven't been to a show. We haven't done anything.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
we haven't gotten sick yet.
Well, there you go.
It's scary because I think it's better when you're on the other side that you'd already caught it and you're on the other side and everything was fine. I'm glad I caught it. I'm glad I caught Omicron because my girlfriend caught Delta and you don't want anything to do with that. No, I don't. Yeah.
But in our scenario, we've got the kid who I know everything they say about kids are less, but we're still just very hyper protective.
Yeah.
And then I booked a job I booked it in December. I was supposed to shoot it first week of January. Omicron did its thing. It has been pushed and pushed and pushed. I'm now shooting it February 1st, but I have had to go and get tested every single day.
For 21 days now in a row.
Wow.
Yeah, I get tested every single day.
Not like commercial where they test you PCR 24 hours in advance.
And I know that one positive test and I lose that job.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's scary, right?
And it's recurring. So he's already booked 2 episodes. So it's if he loses it, he loses the opportunity of continuing to come back as, guess what? A stand-up comedy host.
Yeah.
What? That's amazing. Congrats.
That's hilarious.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's great. In November, I booked a co-star on a TV show called Super Pumped.
Yeah.
And they kept pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. And then my part went away.
I'm also worried about that.
Yeah.
I was like, are you fucking kidding me, Omicron? Can you, anything else you can, because it's taken away all my warm-up gigs. It took away so much. It's like Omicron is just like, for us, you know, in entertainment, it's just killing us, you know?
Yeah. When you're full support, which you are behind and in front of the camera, when your full support is the business, and the business is like crazy right now. I don't think people actually fundamentally or logistically understand how impactful that is.
And you brought it up, so I definitely want to talk about, you know, warm-up gigs, because being a warm-up comic, it's being a stand-up comic, but it's different and it's special.
It's hosting too. Like you have to have that ability to like host people. You're talking to children, but you're not. Yeah,
no, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, I got really lucky this summer. I warmed up a TV show called The Go Big Show. Bert Kreischer is the host. It's going to be on TBS.
That's awesome.
It's like America's Got Talent, but like on steroids.
Which you've also done. You've done America. I've
warmed up America's Got Talent too. Yeah, I've warmed up. The show that I was on for the most time was called which Jody Miller was a showrunner and head writer on it, called Funny You Should Ask.
Yes.
Which that's not back yet, but it's coming back. Do we know?
Don't know. Fingers crossed. We don't know. The Byron Allen, who you know, it's his ultimately his decision.
Yeah.
But you know, we also just lost. You know, Louis Anderson died.
Yeah.
He was on the show. He was a big, really awesome dude.
Yeah.
Really.
We watched the show, but everybody else, we've pumped the show like we will again, because it's great.
It was the best. But then coming back to that show, you know, we had paid. There's different audiences. There's paid audiences, and then there's like America's Got Talent. People just want to go, and those are the best audiences, because
those are hard to get tickets to. Yeah. Yeah,
and they're there. They're on board. They're willing. They're just excited. But like when you do like, you know, Funny You Should Ask. You know, we've done over 300 episodes. You get a lot of the same faces.
That's crazy. So that's like extra work, like paid audience is like extra work, right?
Yeah, extra work. Yeah, they get like $80 cash or something.
So that's going to be a little tough on you, because you've got to have fresh material for the same audience over and over again.
Season 1, I learned the hard way when I was doing one of my jokes, and someone in the audience called out the punchline before I went.
Asshole.
And I was like, nope, that's it. Now all I'm doing is crowd work. So now all I really do is crowd work. I just go through the crowd. Like if I can throw in one of my jokes, if it comes up, I'll throw it in. But otherwise, it's just like, and you have to be kind, because you can't attack the audience, because they'll turn on you real quick.
Right.
It's a lot of, like I tell people who do warm up for the first time, I go, self-deprecating, make it about you. Don't ever turn on them, because you'll lose them for that whole show.
Right. No insult comedy.
No. You can't insult. I mean, you can't. I mean, even though I love to do that stuff, but you can't. It's like, it taught me, because you have to be clean.
Yeah, it's elementary school comedy for sure.
Elementary school comedy. Yeah. And you're also a babysitter.
Yeah.
A lot of time. You're a baby.
Is this your sitcom pilot you're writing? Because
yes,
I hear
I'm pitching it to you guys actually right now.
I mean, I really hear it right now. I think we should work on this.
I think the warm up is a great title.
Warm up is a good title.
Warm up. I think this is what we're working on, Daren Capozzi.
I think it's a good title. I mean, you could just make the guy like a sleazeball too, you know, sleeps with audience members. And
the guy is you.
What was the
played
show?
By you, attached. Daren Capozzi, attached.
We were watching Crashing, and he was doing, that was a big
one episode.
Yeah. He was doing a couple episodes. I mean, he had that as a gig. Pete Holmes had that as a gig.
So funny.
That's right.
Yeah.
So funny.
Wow.
Yeah.
He could replace Louis Anderson. He's funny. Not that he's replaceable, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, you could. Oh. I mean, I don't know if Byron knows him. Byron only knows like the 80s comics, so.
Oh.
He's a big fan of the dinosaurs.
The insult comics. Just kidding.
Maybe Dice is available.
That would be amazing.
Be great. That would be awesome.
If Dice was on set, I would definitely have to take 80 pictures with him.
That would be amazing.
Hey, Daren Capozzi. Hey.
Hickory dickory dock.
So,
nice.
okay. So does your agent book you for that spot? Like, how does your agent work as a stand-up comic? Are you booking those spots because you know the people, or what are you doing? How are you doing?
I have a manager, warm-up manager. So she gets me.
Okay.
She this, if you want to, here's how I became a warm-up comedian. People don't understand. So Jody got the head writing job at Funny You Should Ask, and she brought me in for an interview.
This is Jody from last season, you guys.
Jody Miller.
One of our favorite people, our mentor, love her to death. She's the greatest person that ever lived and helps everybody she can.
Yeah, she's
no offense, mom and dad.
So talented. So talented. And such amazing, and she's been such an amazing friend to me. So I went in, I talked to the execs, and we had a good conversation, but they're like, have you ever done crowd warm-up? And I was like, no, but I'm like, I do stand up and I do a lot of crowd work. And they're like, okay, good. Well, go get a job and then come back and talk to us. And I was like, okay, see you never, because how the hell are you going to go out and just get a warm-up job? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Chicken or egg? What comes first? I don't understand.
Yeah, exactly. And then I was like, well, that's over. And then Eliza Schlesinger calls me and she's like, hey, do you want to warm up?
Also great. She's so funny. Also so great.
Funny. So funny. So she's been nothing but kind to me. She's such a sweet woman. And she's like, you want to warm up my TV show?
Nice.
So I was like, what? And then I go back to Funny You Should Ask. And they're like, hey, I got a gig. And they're like, hey, you know what? We already hired someone, but you know what we're going to do? We're going to have you guys go switch on and off every other one.
Great.
Like, great. This is the guy who was a warm-up. He's an awesome dude. He took me under his wing. He's so fantastic. But he had a little bit of a falling out with someone on set and they fired him. Not because he was terrible, not because, he's not a good warm-up. They just didn't see eye to eye because especially Funny You Should Ask, they're very grilling on the warm-up guys. Like, why aren't they clapping? Why aren't they laughing? Get that. And he was like, I think he said they've already, like, I don't know. He just disagreed with someone to tell them to laugh. And they're like, all right, well, sit down. You're done. So
let's take a quick break.
And we're back.
So then I became their guy.
Wow. That's amazing.
And that opened doors to America's Got Talent, Masked Singer, World of Dance.
Masked Singer?
Did the Masked Singer.
Shut up.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
World of Dance, The Hustler.
Did you meet Ken? Did you meet Dr. Ken?
They're up. So you're down here on the stage and they're up top.
Yeah.
I didn't really meet him. But they saw me do stand up, but who was a real dick was, everybody get up. What's his name?
Yeah.
Sure. You can tell.
Yeah, we know. What's his name?
At one point, what's his name?
I don't remember.
I'm trying to remember his dad's name so I can remember his name.
Yeah, he became famous because of his dad. I always, and
Robin Thicke.
So one reason, I guess I played a song and then we stopped it because they're like, hey, stop the music. And then I played it again. Mm-hmm. He had the audacity to send down an assistant to tell me I've been playing the song too much. It's mid-show. Like, what, dude? And the guy, my guy who's bosses with me, he's like, what is he fucking talking about? I'm like, yeah, like, what, dude?
He's heard it too much on the radio. People like it too much.
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
Like, dude, your dad got you in. Like, you wouldn't be here if it wasn't nepotism.
But that's the thing that we have to understand is these people have never had to have a side hustle, have never had to work for it in the same way that we work for it. The appreciation isn't there. It's all just discharge.
With the exception of Ken Jeong, who actually did have a side hustle.
He did. He's a doctor.
He's a doctor.
But there's a lot of just like, I feel like they don't there's a stunted growth thing. Like they don't have, I don't even know what kind of schools they went to that teachers wouldn't even be teaching them sort of, empathy,
decency,
empathy. Yeah.
I don't know. It's bizarre. We get this a lot on the show. It's bizarre.
It's bizarre. I was so, I'm like, I'm in the middle of doing something. And this PA has to stop me. Like, what?
Wow.
What are you talking about, dude? Just what do you care?
Do your job and I'll do mine.
I'll do mine. Like, what?
Yeah.
So let me ask you, I'm fascinated by the job of the warm-up comedian. I was I had the opportunity once to be considered for it. I didn't get it for a show, but then that's the closest I ever got to that.
You're like, goodbye. No, see you never.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Pretty much. But I like, you know, a normal comedy set, like if you're the headliner of a show, if you're doing a special, you do an hour. Mm-hmm. If you do, you know, the most, sometimes it's a half hour.
Yeah.
You're doing, you know, these shoot days go on and on, 4, 5, 6 hour shoot days.
I didn't even think of that.
And you just keep getting up and keeping them warm. You're basically like a comedy fluffer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
How many minutes are you doing by the end of a day?
Well, it depends. It depends what show it is.
Yeah.
It really depends, like how many breaks they have. Like for Funny You Should Ask, it was like as soon as the last person asked who was in the seat, I had to start talking.
Yeah.
Like that's what the stage manager, I love my stage manager. His name, Tyler's the best. Like there's some stage managers, the biggest dicks on the planet. Like I've been screamed at by stage managers on other shows. Yeah. Yeah. Like, I'm sorry, dude. What?
I don't know if I could do it. Like so far I have so much anxiety for you.
Mm-hmm. It's anxiety ridden because, you know, especially at 9:35, you have to make these people laugh. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know, especially on these shows that are paid audiences. They're like,
that's in the morning, by the way.
9:35.
9 in the morning, and they're paid. And they're like, all right, dude, I already got my money, so what? I don't have to. You know what I mean?
We had the decency to ask him to make us laugh at 10 a.m. Okay, people, shut the fuck up.
Mm-hmm. That's the hard one. Yeah, it's just, you know, yeah, it depends. Like for Funny You Should Ask, like if a light went out and then they had to bring in the crew to fix it, you're on.
Wow.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, you start talking, dude. Like that. I remember that's the stage manager, Tyler. You got to start talking, bro.
So this is for Funny You Should Ask as a paid audience, and they still use you, thank God. But like, they're paid to laugh. Like, you better fucking laugh. I don't care what the material is. I'm here to pump you, but you're being paid as a background actor, which means you need to act like you're having fun and laugh.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And you'd be shocked. Like, well, the good thing is Byron Allen, whose show it is, he's also on the panel, and he would yell at them too, like, "Come on, audience, come on!" He would be like, "Yeah, I got to do better."
Good.
Yeah, he would really stop the show. Like, and then sometimes I'd be like, "Oh God, am I going to lose my job?" but
it's not you; it's them.
It's not me.
Listen, extras are like, "This is an easy gig. I get some money to sit here and not do anything and eat my toast, the free toast." You know, yeah. So like, it's, you know,
just don't be on your phone.
No, a lot of them look like they just woke up from underneath the bridge too. So, you know,
my last job before COVID, actually, it was the very beginning of COVID, but nothing had closed yet, and I was working on Mixed-ish. Playing a homeless man, and definitely felt like they had set up, because we were shooting outside, like they had like set up like, oh, they'll just don't move them, just let them stay.
Right. We don't have to pay. We don't have to pay anyone. Just let's guerrilla shoot it, right?
Yeah. Do you guys like craft services?
Which I think is great. If that is the plan to help with the homeless problem, I'm here for it. Let's pay them to just stay where they are when you do on location shoots. Right. You just pay them for the day.
Yeah.
But what I want to know, you're doing really great as a stand-up comic. And I know you're also an actor. Mm-hmm. You were so generous with us and like came and did our Doritos commercial for a Super Bowl contest and stuff. But
should have fucking won.
Should have fucking won. Had really so many votes.
That was a really good commercial.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, really good.
But I want to know, honestly, I've always wanted to know this. If with a lot of people, is the dream to have a show? Or are you just loving stand-up and like in the moment work, live work so much that, you know, you'd be happy and content just to be doing live work all the time, live stand-up, travel, stand-up, whatever? Or do you want, I mean, you deserve a Netflix special.
Oh, thank you.
But
I would like all the above. Like, you know, my girlfriend always asks me what I want. I'm like, I don't need to be famous. I just need to work. Like,
yeah.
I would love to be like 5th guy in the call sheet.
Yeah.
And then be able to go do stand-up.
Yeah.
And then raise a family and then get off this planet. You know what I mean? It's like,
I love that.
You know, ultimately, you know, stand-up's it's a grind.
It's a hustle.
It's even a hustle now, you know, even though, I've been out here for so long, it's still a hustle trying to get gigs, you know.
Yeah.
Gigs that pay.
Yeah.
It's because a lot of LA stand-up, I don't think always pays.
Oh, no, you don't get paid. No. Not a lot.
I mean, so
Yeah.
you're just like, it's not even a hustle. It's just a hustle to get stage time.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kicker. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm
Do you
just
do
having a
now?
moment.
Are you touring now or like?
No. I'm in town now. Yeah.
Okay. Is
Yeah,
that on the horizon at all? Is it of interest?
He wants to get married and have a baby. He can't travel right now.
I'm gonna marry and have a baby soon. No, we're not. We're gonna get married soon. I don't know about babies. It's up to her, really. I keep telling her, let's do it now. She's like, not a chance. She's like, ring on my finger. I go,
Right.
whatever.
Someone will lose this stalemate eventually.
Yeah, eventually. Yeah.
But what is touring's tough? Let's
Well,
be
Touring's
honest.
tough. Well, touring's great, but the problem with anything with touring is like you show up to town and then you just wait until you're half hour,
Yeah.
and then 24 hours and 30 minutes later you got nothing else to do. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like that's the thing about touring. But there's nothing better than going on the road because the audience is just so juicy and they laugh at anything and they're there for comedy. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
sometimes in LA it's like. I feel like it's a lot of disgruntled actors and artists. They're like, I can do that, so I'm not going to give him love,
Yeah.
That's
There's
true.
a lot of jaded audiences in
A
LA.
lot of jaded
And
audience.
you're like, why are you here?
They're there because their stand-up coach or their improv coach or their commercial teacher told them they had to go see a stand-up show to learn how to do something.
Right.
That's why.
Yeah.
Another special skill on the resume.
Another special skill.
I still
which
have
is
horseback
true.
riding on mine.
Oh,
I do too. I went one time in 5th grade, but it's
I know, right? I rode a horse in 78, so I think that's good.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm
And
not
that-
afraid to get on it. So
and-
there.
I have a very different experience of horseback riding, guys.
I'm not
Okay.
sure what that
Really?
means.
I did it semi-pro until I was like 11, and somebody told my mom that it would turn me gay. So all of a sudden I stopped.
That would turn you gay riding horses.
Yeah,
True
that
story.
that is a true story. That is the reason I stopped riding horses.
Come on.
Boy, was she thrilled when I went to theater school.
Yeah. That's good.
She's like, I should have got him off the horse earlier.
Exactly.
Yeah, theater school. Do you think that because I have I went to theater school too. Do you think that when people, I talk about this all the time, like when people now send in submissions to be go to theater school, like the board or the school's like, okay, we got another sucker.
Yes, I am. I 100% think that
You know what
way.
I mean?
Yeah.
They think they're gonna make it.
The
Okay.
first question in the interview is like, so why do you hate your parents?
The first question I had with my counselor when I claimed theater in undergrad as my, major, whatever,
Yeah.
he was stoned out of his mind. He was such a hippie from the late 60s, and he was so stoned, and he goes, why are you doing this? And I was like, huh? And he was legitimately asking me. That's the only time I ever saw him. And people talked to me about having college counselors, and I was like, nah, I didn't have a college counselor. Oh, I met this guy one time and he was really high. And he's like, you sure you want to do this? And I was like, yeah.
You're
I
like,
mean,
"All
it's
right."
Did you
Sign the
guys have
paper.
college counselors?
No.
Oh, okay, good. So it's not just me.
Technically, I had a similar experience minus the drugs, but I had somebody who was very hands off.
Yeah.
I technically had to meet with one time, and then
Because
that was
us
it.
theater majors are a joke.
Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
why. That's
Yeah.
what it was. They're like, we don't have to waste money on this.
We don't have to wait. Yeah.
It's fine.
I would like, we at the very beginning of this, we talked about
Day trading.
day trading for
Yeah.
like a microsecond, which is
Yeah.
how long it takes to day trade.
Yeah.
But I find it so fascinating that you do that as a side hustle, and I want to, because that is all you. That's not working for somebody else. That's and then you technically make your own hours in that you could do it or not do it. What's it like, and where what got you into it? How did you start? What's your
Yeah.
deal?
Good question. One of my father's best friends is a day trader and a very, very successful man. So he's been day trading on this particular stock called FAS, which is a conglomerate of all the banks.
Okay.
Wow.
So it's like Bank of America, Wells Fargo. It's all under that umbrella.
I'm going to take notes.
Yeah,
FAS.
and,
We record this, right?
Oh, sure.
So he came up with this system where FAS is if you watch FAS, it goes down and then it goes up. it's like clockwork. So he would wait for the dip, get in the dip, make his $2. And of course he's investing with $1 million. So he would make 150 if he made a $2 gain a day.
Wow.
So, obviously I don't have $1 million, but I've got involved and, I would make, it was easy. You get in, you set your price for what you want to buy out, and then, what you want to sell. And there'd be some mornings that I would put my buy and my sell in, and I'd go back to sleep, and I'd wake up and I made a trade, and it would be done,
It's all automated.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. For me, because also it's 6:30 in the morning, and I'm like, well, I'm going to watch the market for a second, see the dip, get in, and then set it for $2 above, and then you make your whatever, how much you make.
Yeah.
But some days you get in, and then like the problem with the market is sometimes you get stuck because, for example, we got stuck. My girlfriend and I, we trade together, and we got stuck because Omicron hit.
Oh shit.
We were going to get out the next day, and I knew it was going to hit the number, and then next day Omicron hit and it shot the market down. So now with the Ukraine situation and inflation and the Feds, we're stuck now. That's the one problem. You can get stuck, but it always comes back. You never lose money. That's the good thing. You just have to have, once again, comes back to patience by Guns N' Roses. We've come full circle.
Yeah.
But that's really, I day trade on one stock and one stock only. And
that's interesting.
Awesome.
I did a similar dabble, with cryptocurrency, which turned out to be, I'm fine. I've not lost money. I've made money, but there was a time where I was like, oh, if I can, watch it go down, buy, go up, sell. And that thing was, it's not a bank. It's the fucking Wild West. And there was no I couldn't trust it to go, to come back or to go up. And so, right now, for the last 3 weeks, it's been in total free fall. And
it's the market is so, like I said, Ukraine, the Fed is going to, and we have inflation. We don't know where the economy is going. There's a lot. What I've learned from the market is it doesn't like uncertainty.
Yeah.
At all.
Yep.
And we've had the worst start in trading in 2000, not last year, but this year. It's since we've had, so many uncertainties, but it's been the worst trading in the market in a long time. The start of new year, that is, obviously it'll turn around, but
Yeah.
Or we've got bigger problems.
Let me ask you this. You said your girlfriend day trades with you. Do you have your own accounts? Are you like doing it as a couple?
Yeah, we do it as a couple. Yeah.
And is she is she in the entertainment business?
No, she's not. She's in, no, thank God. She's
normal.
She's a recruiter. My girlfriend just screamed from the other room, I'm a recruiter. I know.
I would like to marry her too.
She's like, I'm a recruiter. I know you're a recruiter, honey.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
She goes to work every day.
She has a job.
She does a job.
Yeah.
She's the best thing that's ever happened to me. So I'm really lucky. So, listen, we're 18 years apart.
Mm-hmm.
So what?
Yeah. So her parents had an issue at first, but now it's all good,
So you had the better apartment. She still moved in with you. So you had something over it. You're like, listen, I got the nice apartment because I'm 18 years older.
Tell her dad, like, I've got this thing. It's called Beard Dye.
By the way, what do you guys think?
It looks very really authentic.
Do you have an audition? So Darren was telling us that, he still goes out for 30-year-olds. So he just
I get 35-year-olds all the time. I'm like, what are you doing? So I have to dye my beard.
But you do look 35. You look TV 35. You look TV and film 35. You're not that much older than 35.
No, somewhat.
Listen, he's not.
No, don't tell anyone. No, but
you do look film and TV 35.
The only reason I went in for a big audition once for a commercial, and I had gray on the side coming in, and I got a haircut and it was shaved down, and I didn't really dye it. And the feedback was, they were like, you would have booked this commercial, but your hair looked weird on the side. And I was like, well, couldn't they go outside the box and have me dye it? But so ever since then, I'm like, if I get an audition, if something like a little bit younger, I just dye it. I'm not ashamed.
No, it's good.
What product are you using? Because it's fantastic.
Yeah, it is. It's actually really good.
It's one of those things out of the box. It's
just for men.
Just for men.
I told you we're gonna get you just for men.
I have it in the shower. It's not bonding to my beard. I don't know what the deal is.
Wait, you have the stuff the shampoo that goes on?
Yep.
Then it makes your hands purple?
That's the one.
Don't do that.
No?
No.
You have to have like the shoe polish, the actual dye.
Yeah, get the actual dye. Takes 5 minutes.
You comb it in, right?
Yeah, comb it in. 5 minutes.
All right.
The thing is, Darren and you are two very different looks. Like Darren has a boyish look. So like even as he ages, he still looks like a boy.
Oh,
you started out looking like an old
grandfather,
man. You started out looking like an old man. And as you age, you are actually aging into your look. So your looks haven't changed. You've just aged into them.
Right.
So like, it's sort of like that weird Hollywood thing, right? Like, I mean, I'm not being mean. I'm being sincere. Like it's two different. It's like a weird thing. Right.
And that is the closest Jaime has ever come to complimenting my looks.
Not true.
Well, you guys look the same, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Ah.
I mean,
It's the
seriously.
filter on Zoom.
I have so much. Jason, I have so much gray in my beard. It's bad. Like yours is nice. You have a little the here I see, and like
yeah. I got you know what? I had it just on one side for the longest time, and then like it just popped over to the other side, and like I'm like, okay, that looks kind of normal.
Right.
And because you have so much red in your beard, like it almost looks blonde.
That's
now.
food. That's soup.
Stop telling people.
Who has soup in the morning?
Who has soup in the morning? Exactly.
Didn't. I don't know when I had soup.
Soup, he says.
And he wonders why I don't compliment him. No, this was great. So what are you working on right now?
Literally doing stand-up. I mean, I have a show that I do. I'm finally producing a show. Remember TK? Of course you remember TK.
Sure.
I took over his show.
You're doing it at Federal Bar?
Okay.
Are you doing it at Formosa at all, or just
No,
Federal Bar?
Federal Bar. Yeah, once a week on Wednesday. Yeah.
Okay,
Nice.
Wednesday.
And we also, if comedy friends, if anyone's listening, if you just show up to the show, we always put names. We always have 1 or 2 spots for drop-ins. So we put names in the hat. And if someone told their name, they go up and they do 5 minutes. So it's like
that's great. And the show's doing well. You got like a nice built-in audience there.
Well, Omicron's kind of messed up the
course.
last couple of shows. Like we had like a couple people who drop out. So I think after this Omicron scare, I think people will start to.
Oh yeah.
They'll start to come out. Yeah, but yeah, we've our first couple of shows were packed. We took it over in the 22nd of December was our first show. And it went,
That's awesome.
I mean, that's incredibly bad timing considering when Omicron hit, but
horrible timing. But we,
timing.
We had like 40 people that show, so it was fine. We had
That's great.
40
That's good numbers. Yeah.
but to use stock market terms, you're stuck.
Yeah, we're stuck. Mic drop. End the podcast.
She showed on Monday. So why'd you come around? She want my money, but I got no money. This ain't no savings and loan.